Drake went to then Drake and him did a couple songs off Her Loss, and then he bounced back to him. With Wayne, it started Drake, him and Wayne for a long time, and then it went to just Drake. Like they stayed.
Because Wayne's not actually touring, so because Wayne's not even touring, so it's not like he had a set. He was just like, all right, let me throw some songs here and there. And
he just did the Florida ones.
Yeah.
He lives here. Like
Who was it? It was supposed to be Cole, right?
Yeah, Jay.
Injured or
I just
sick
couldn't
or
make the dates.
Couldn't make it?
You know, like they say yes.
He's so
and then they're
busy.
like, yeah, I can't make it. I can't do that thing. Do you see the beef? Kendrick Lamar just doing a diss song about both of them.
What happened?
They made first person shooter and
just without him. I know that they he was in first person shooter.
No, he wasn't.
Who was the hardest?
It was
MC?
Jake.
Me, K Dot, is it Aubrey or me?
It was J Cole and
Drake. But K Dot was in the song. But they gave him love. Yeah.
And he was like, "No, fuck you guys. There's no big three. It's just big me." And he just talked like complete shit about them on a song. So I'm sure they're both gonna come back. I actually think both of them can bury his ass because Drake's a good battle rapper. He just does pop because he's the smartest person. Because he's like, this makes the most money, you idiots.
Right.
You know,
which is a great segue into whether we keep that intro or not, but like world building, right? Is like Drake understands how to get distribution.
Get your own
right? Use media to get distribution, right? And he knows the more pop songs that I build, the more distribution I'm going to get, the more, because distribution, radio stations, YouTube, MTV, if that still exists.
Impressions.
Right? It's impressions. And he knows the game of getting impressions and then social and then that whole side. And then it allows him to sell out arenas. It allows him to create brand. It allows him to do all these things. Like he's built a world, but it starts with making great music, which we talk about all the time.
Making something for the total addressable market, which is everyone. That's
for him.
That's why he goes more pop. You know, he appeals to everybody instead of like, he's not trying to be like, I'm the best rapper in the, like, dude, if you'd like statistically probably looked at it, like top hits rappers of all time, you or top sales, it's got to be Drake.
Well, especially with streams for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
well, actually check who the,
it could be Eminem kind of lives in both worlds because he was selling tens of millions of actual albums, CDs, tapes, all that stuff.
Most albums sold of all time rappers. Or in streams after
or
that.
hip hop or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's wild. So today we want to talk about this idea of world building.
Yeah.
And it came across, I saw this, I think it was an episode of the Founders Podcast, Love Founders Podcast, and they were talking about Jimmy Buffett. Mm-hmm. Not a big Jimmy Buffett guy, never went to his concerts. I have buddies who like...
Not at all.
Swore by it. They tailgate all day, which again...
I've been to the hotel in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
I've been to the restaurant and they
I
went to Universal Studios. You know, cool, chill. Go get a margarita.
I've had Land Shark.
Yeah, Land Shark beer. Yeah. So this is the craziest thing, right? So we got it?
Yeah, it's Eminem first, and you have Ludacris, 50 Cent.
What?
Ludacris?
Of
That's
all time?
Ludacris.
That's nuts, dude.
Ludacris is like Mr. Allstate now.
Wow.
He's in like,
and
or Jake from State Farm or whatever he is
Fast
now.
and Furious Part 27.
Yeah. That's wild. All right, so Jimmy Buffett. It's the 1970s. He's trying to get a record deal. And anybody who knows anything about Jimmy Buffett music, it's in this like weird category. It's not quite country music. It's not quite rock music.
It's sitting on a beach music.
Right, which in the 1970s, though, that didn't exist, right? Today we got like Jack Johnson and like you've got like a category in there. But in the 1970s, it didn't exist. So dude said, I'm out in Nashville. I'm going to go move to the Keys. And I'm going to build a world around what it is that I want to do. And
like
so
Jamaican country.
That's a good one. I like that. So dude moves down to the Keys and starts building a world around what it is that he does. And he put himself at the center of the world. I love this kind of concept. So he started making his own music for people that were going down to the Keys who wanted to just lounge on a boat, do some fishing, do some drinking, chill out, like whatever there was. Music takes off. 1977, Margaritaville comes out. Right? Like this is the most merchandisable song of all time, right? So he, again, created a song about the world that he wanted to build for himself. And that was the song. Fast forward. So I got some notes here because I want to get this right. It's an island escapism brand is what it's categorized as. He is the chairman of Margarita Holdings, LLC. It started in 1977. He, at the time of his passing, he had a 28% stake in it. He turned that one song into a world that included resorts, restaurants, casinos, cruises, merchandise, His business acumen landed him on the Forbes billionaire list. And when he passed away at 76 years old, he had an estimated wealth of $1 billion.
Also alcohol. Because
Land Shark. Yeah. And so, but what's the thing that we always talk about is if he didn't create
that one
song, but it's not even the one song.
Like,
it's
name another, I mean, unless you're a like buff, like name another Jimmy Buffett song. No clue.
I don't know any. And again, we're not fans. I'm
right,
sure
right.
you as a Jimmy Buffett fan,
course,
right? But that's
course.
different. But what this is cool because this is what we talk about all the time. He created media, so video, podcasts, whatever there was, and then he created distribution for it. Back then, radio stations, concerts, TV shows, getting on the late night shows, like all of this, built distribution for that. And because he had distribution, he can sell anything.
That's nuts. That's crazy that he had that vision at that age. Like in that, by age, I mean like the 70s.
But this plan didn't exist. Like there was no blueprint. He is the blueprint.
Right. 100%. Like now Jay-Z, all these people, honestly, to a degree, like he's the GOAT because they all follow the same system, right? They're like, boom, I'm going to make videos and I'm going to sell Ciroc and I'm going to do merchandise and I'm going to put it all on my shows and whatever the case, right? Like that's the play, man. And people don't understand that when we talk about a Jay-Z or Jimmy Buffett, they're like, yeah, but that's them. But it wasn't. Like they were nobody too.
Right. Jimmy Buffett got kicked out of Nashville because no one wanted him.
Right.
That's all of us. No one wanted us, right? Like I created my own TV show about a decade ago because no one would give me a TV deal. So
right.
I'm going to do one myself. No one gave me a record deal at 18, so I created my own,
exactly.
right? And it's just this idea.
Jesse Itzler did the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's just people don't want to put the hard times that come with doing the harder things. I was talking to you about a friend of ours who is basically a billionaire. He doesn't want to be called that yet because like it's not like they're very specific. I'd be screaming it, but whatever. And he got interviewed somewhere else, and they're like, "What's the big things that you did?" And he's like, "A little bit of paid to validate the concept, and then everything else was community. They had Facebook groups. They had content going out for some of the brands that he has, and he still does the same model, and then goes from there into distribution of Amazon. And now you see this guy, his name's Rob DeBank. His name's Rob. They're actually good friends, and he talks a lot on TikTok. And he's not talking just scaling ads. He's talking about working with creators, building community, building the right thing, and then driving people towards the channels that already have the potential flow of customers for you. Because I think more and more, it's like statistically speaking, I just saw Neil Patel say this, ads are still the highest and best converting thing, but that's logical, right? Like it's direct response, boom, boom. Are they the most scalable? No, because at one point your scale is your diminishment of returns financially because you're trying to hit an addressable market that isn't yours. And so you're just trying to find pockets of people. That allocation of money could be spent so much better finding the right people in a different place. And that's
100%.
where people don't pay attention and don't really care.
Yeah.
That's the big thing that we want to try to figure out how to convince people to start doing.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about let's go through some more examples, right? So Jimmy Buffett, great one. You mentioned Jay-Z. Like this guy is the modern blueprint, right? Yeah. And so again, he's a
billionaire.
He is. And so I got this advice from Craig Ballantyne. I was doing a one-day consulting day with him, again, a long time ago. And he said that, Greg, you need to be Jay-Z the rapper before you become Jay-Z the mogul. And it was when I started running too fast, spreading myself too thin before I had a hit record. And that was like a light bulb moment for me because Jay-Z didn't start day one with a clothing brand and a vodka brand and, an R&B diva as a wife. Like he started as a hustler in the streets with Reasonable Doubt that, again, same as Jimmy Buffett, no one wanted it. So him and Dame and Biggs, pressed this album up themselves, did so well selling out of trunks that they went to Def Jam. He didn't never sign to Def Jam as an artist. Def Jam was distribution for Rockefeller Records.
I didn't know that.
Like, that's the play.
I thought it became that.
It ultimately, the first deal was just distribution.
Oh, wow.
Is Def Jam paid Rockefeller to distribute Reasonable Doubt, which then turned into a co-deal like down the ride.
Yeah.
But that's the craziest part is he started as, let me just make the best stuff that I can possibly make. And I think this is where media comes into play, where if you make the best newsletter, if you make the best podcast, if you make the best videos, but you with Jimmy Buffett and Jay and Drake and whoever, you got to have the best stuff.
Yeah.
And I think so many people come in with like, we're just going to do this like podcast thing. And like, I don't know, I'm going to interview the same people that everybody else interviewed. I'm going to do things the same way. And I'm going to hope that pops off.
Yeah.
And it never works that way.
No. I was just talking to somebody who's a client now, and his content's kind of trash, right? And I was like, listen, he's been doing it for years. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, you are not being presented in your own content. You're interviewing people about boring topics in a boring format that everyone already expects. Yeah, no wonder 2 years later there's nothing. No one knows anything about you. You're a vibe. You got a sick office. You're not presenting yourself. You're actually giving it away to somebody who isn't a speaker, has no professional speaking advice, wants to sound clear, concise, and specific about boring topics or their story, which no one gives a shit about your story 17 times after.
Right.
You know? Instead, drop the people. And if you do have guests, let's have a beer in this couch and talk how I'm asking questions or whatever, because people want that. People want to see like normal. This whole presentation now of anything, whether it's e-com or whatever, just trying to present yourself as the perfect Instagram thing, dude,
Doesn't work.
it's over. Like just be the people you see winning in a lot. I see a lot of people in e-commerce winning by actually just now talking on TikTok, no video edits, no nothing, no dancing on music, just like, this is my product, this is the warehouse, this is what we're trying to do, blah, 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 bam, bam, bam. They're selling out because they're telling their story and they're building media for themselves.
Yeah.
And these guys aren't spending money on ads. It's crazy. It's almost like this new world that doesn't look at ads as the source. They look at content how we used to look at direct response, like perfect copy, ads, scale. They go in like basic me, phone, speak, which is, it's a bigger opportunity to make more money with e-commerce companies now instead of less, because e-com businesses don't have the best margin on the planet.
Yeah.
But you can use yourself to avoid a lot of times spending money on these ads and get more revenue to start focusing on getting more inventory, more products, or more channels.
Yeah, that's what I think about, like go-to-market strategies, right? Because you're right, like most startup D2C brands, they don't have 10K a month for a retainer and then 10K a month for ads and then inventory and staff and fulfillment and all this. And I think the one multiplier, the one piece of leverage that they have is what you just said. Yo, what's up? This is Greg, and today I'm talking about blah, blah, blah. That's it. And the cool thing is, if it doesn't work, nobody saw it. Throw it in the trash. Right. But you start building up this catalog. It's like Drake, like there's stories. Linkin Park, I know the actual numbers on, so I'm gonna talk to them. I'm a huge Linkin Park fan.
Same.
When they did Meteora, they recorded over 100 songs for that album. 89 of them were trash.
That's crazy.
They kept 11 for the album, and I don't know if you just saw, they just
And
put out
they've
the
only-
20th year anniversary,
Yeah.
and there was like 7 or 8 extra tracks on there. But that's the thing, is like, you gotta figure it out before you find that hit. Most people don't hit gold day one.
Yeah.
Most people's first album isn't Reasonable Doubt, right? Most people's first album is trash. And then you get better and you get better and you get better. And all of a sudden you have this product that's ready for the limelight. And the cool thing with social, if you put out a video and it flops on TikTok, who cares? Nobody saw it there, but there's this fear of like, I'm going to put this video out and that's it. That's going to be the end of me. And it's never,
People
it's never
take
true.
themselves more serious than anyone else takes them.
Yeah.
And that's why they shy away from things. I always tell people, like, no one gives a shit who we are. And they'll forget about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? What did you wear yesterday? You don't know. I have no clue.
They forget about it 5 minutes later.
Exactly,
Forget
man.
tomorrow.
Yeah, like, and Logan Paul did some crazy stuff in Japan in that Murder Woods
Right.
or whatever. He's one of the biggest wrestling stars with the biggest.
With $1 billion drink company.
It's gonna be
no
fine.
one cares.
They all hate his brother for just trying to be a boxer.
Right.
Like,
but also he's selling out arenas with Mike Tyson.
Exactly.
Like, and so, yeah, I think we take ourselves so seriously. And I joke about this all the time. Like, I hate watching myself on camera. Like when people send me edits of like this show to watch, they're like, watch it, let me know. I'm like, I can't watch myself, but I know it's fine. Like,
I don't like my
because
voice.
I'm my own, we're our own biggest critic. But like,
100%.
there's no one watching this right now that is like, man, Los's voice is annoying. Wow, great. Like they're just like, all right, is that good shit? Is it not good shit? Is it
Right.
good shit? Is it not good shit? And that's it.
That's it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, man. You guys got to put out more content, create more conversations. It's Brad Lee said this too. Like, dude, I just want to get in front of more people. It doesn't matter what I sell. I'll sell something.
Yeah.
And that's it, man.
That's the big thing, is like when you have this distribution, it allows you to do anything. So back to Jay, right? He puts out Reasonable Doubt. He puts out another platinum album, puts out another platinum album. Now he knows that at any point, if he wants to reach millions of people, all he has to do is what? Put out a song. And guess what? In that music video, what am I going to wear? My Rockaware. What am I going to have Dame Dash holding in the corner? My vodka. What are we going to have over here? Oh, that's my other brand. Oh, that's my other brand. So now he uses this distribution to sell whatever the hell that he wants to sell. It's like Logan can sell Prime because he has like him and KSI have so much distribution. Mr. Beast, chocolate makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But like, dude does like these challenge-based shows and he sells chocolate. Why?
$40 for chocolate.
Yeah, dude, my
It's
kids.
expensive.
My kids eat like we go to every time we go
It
to
actually
7-Eleven.
it is
we
delicious.
We just pack it.
Yeah.
But it's just, but they can sell anything because they have the distribution. Emma Chamberlain, coffee makes to her early videos makes no sense.
Reese Witherspoon book club,
Right.
billionaire off book club.
You build the media, you build distribution arms, and that thing is at the center, right? It's a world, right? So think about like that's the sun.
Yeah.
And you have all these planets that orbit around the sun, but they're all attached to the sun. Like if there's no sun, we don't live.
Yeah.
So it's that thing. I think that like if Logan Paul stopped making content, Prime would still live on because of that's its own planet.
Yeah.
But in the early days, like he was the distribution arm pushing people out
He
for it.
could
Like,
not make videos about Prime anymore.
and it would still work.
It's still the Prime that it is.
But it,
right?
but it took
could-
that initial inertia,
100%.
right? So like it's having this sun at the center of the universe, which is your content, which is your newsletter, which is like whatever that it is, your show, your content, and then all of these other planets are supported by it. Like that,
You got
that's
to bring the
game
heat.
plan.
If not, you're not going to make it work.
Yeah, just not gonna make it work.
All right, guys, we're keeping this one quick. Subscribe, join the notifications, and we will see you guys on the next one.